Street!
Nerd Street!
Hey!
Nerd Street.
Welcome to Nerd Street. We're back. It's Brent and
Nick-tendo!
and today we're gonna bring to you one of the debates that Nick and I have back and forth endlessly.
All since we've known each other.
Right, yeah, this is one of the ones that this is one of the debates that kind of spawned this channel as well. So
Exactly. And in the comment section, vote against his answer and support mine. Please. Stop. Okay, where we at?
Alright, so Nick and I have debated endlessly. Spoiler alert, so if you haven't seen Last Jedi yet, go play in traffic because I don't know why you haven't seen it. It's been out now it's out on video. You can rent it or buy it. So
it is, huh? That's right.
Yeah.
Time goes by fast.
It does. So anyway, if you're more than one movie behind in a series, then
you're lost.
Right, yeah.
Might as well not even bring up spoilers, you're done.
Right. So, as the true believers know, towards the end of Last Jedi, Luke squares off against Kylo Ren, but it's not actually Luke. It's like a force-projected illusion of Luke. And Kylo doesn't realize this at the time, and Luke is just dodging whatever. They never actually clash.
Matrix dodge.
Right.
Yeah, that was cool.
So Nick and I have discussed endlessly as to who would win in a real fight, Luke Skywalker or Kylo Ren.
I'll wake up at like 3 in the morning from a bad nightmare and I'll just text him, Luke, bitch, Luke. This has been an endless debate though.
So, why don't you take it away, Nick? Give us your...
I had to block that bullshit with my lightsaber.
Block the bullshit.
Alright, let's do this. Let's jump right in. Okay, my first real hero in my life that meant the most to me, besides my mom, was Luke Skywalker. I grew up with Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker showed me what it was to be a nerd. He showed me what it meant to be a real film fan of sci-fi. He brought sci-fi into my life, proper sci-fi. None of that Star Trek taser stuff, lightsaber cut you in half stuff. He was the ultimate hero. He never faltered to me. I'm not one of those guys that thinks because in a couple films he raised his voice that he's dark side, because that's not the case at all. It's called beast mode, light side Jedi-ness. And Luke has all that. I think Luke was a great defender. I think he was really good with the Force. He was really good with saber tactics. And I think he had a clear mind all the time. I don't think anyone could ever convince him otherwise to be dark side, to kill his own nephew for no reason. None of that stuff is Luke at all. And that's why he's my hero. And I think he beat Kylo because Kylo is young, naive, rages and blows up on everything, and I think will be outsmarted and outthought like he was in The Last Jedi. I think Kylo will always surrender and lose to Luke's brain. And I'm going to end it there.
Okay.
Luke Skywalker for me.
Alright, so we got Team Skywalker over here, and he's got good points and everything. Now, I disagree. I think Kylo would shred Luke in a real fight, and here's why. Okay, so I've given a lot of thought about this, and in my opinion, being a Force user is kind of like being a quarterback in football, alright? You've got raw arm strength and athleticism.
Okay.
You've got your accuracy and control.
Okay.
And then you've got your smarts on when's the best time to throw, when's the best time to scramble, and everything like that. Okay, so just like with the Force, you've got raw Force power, you've got your control of the Force, and then your wisdom on how to use the Force. So let's talk about raw athleticism first of all, raw Force power.
Okay, raw Force power first.
Right. That's the equivalent of the athleticism as the quarterback. It's the arm strength. Raw Force power.
The muscle.
Now we know that Luke is strong in the Force. He's Vader's son. However, we know that when he talks about when he says to Rey, I've never seen power like this, or I'd only seen power like this once before, and it didn't scare me then. It scares me now. He's talking about Kylo.
Ren.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So he recognizes that Kylo has more raw power of the Force.
Yeah.
All right. So that's you seem to agree on that. So that makes sense. He's got more raw arm strength for a quarterback.
Correct. But just keep in mind, Arnold Schwarzenegger has raw arm strength, and Bruce Lee has smaller arms, and we all know who would win that fight.
Oh yeah, it's certainly much more than just raw strength.
Gotcha. Okay.
So now we've got control. All right.
Know who wins here?
Yeah, Luke has more control of self-control, but I think when it comes to control of the Force, I think Kylo has it. Kylo stopped a blaster bolt in mid-air and kept it floating there without even focusing on it. He was having a conversation and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm one that thinks, now we'll never know because Rian Johnson is such a terrible director. He sucks. We'll never know what Luke can do in his prime after Learn the Jedi. We never know. So when I base all my stuff off lore and what I've seen so far, I think Luke could do the same thing and probably do 5 guns and 5 different bullets at the same time. We'll never know because we'll never have a director that gives a shit enough to take care of Luke the way. But from what I know of Luke, it's like an uncontrolled kid and the controlled parent. One through their life has learned discipline and learned what's right from wrong, not to put your hand on a hot stove, cause and effect, right and wrong. Kylo is still growing up, still trying to figure out what that is. The only thing he's been taught is one side. So I think, without going too much off what the nucleus of what you're trying to say is, I think that Luke could do just that and even more. But
it's possible. We don't know. So what I'm doing is I'm just comparing what we have actually seen in the movie.
You're attacking this the right way.
What we've seen Luke do as far as control, we've seen him block blaster bolts from a little floating droid.
Yeah.
We've seen him do Jedi mind tricks, and he's very good at that.
He's amazing at that.
You know, you will take me to Jabba. I would take you to Jabba.
Oh, Beta 14, that was his bitch. Yeah, for sure.
But that's really all we've seen as far as Luke using the Force. We've seen him.
So we've seen him. When you use a lightsaber, you agree that the Force is taking a big factor in the fighting. It's moving your arms. it's having you see steps ahead in the choreography or the fight rather. And
but the only one we've seen Luke actually fight with a saber is Vader.
And Vader's no slouch.
Right. I'm sure we can agree that Vader at that time when Luke and Vader faced off, Vader was the better.
In Empire Strikes Back?
In Empire Strikes Back. And in Jedi, the only reason Luke beat him was because he gave into the rage.
He did not. Do you remember in Last Jedi when one of the Praetorian guards, is that what they're called? I think Praetorian guards, goes up to Rey and all she does is a kata and scream at the top of her lungs into the screen? Do you think she's going dark side? She is a human being. She knows that she has to convince herself to keep up what needs to...
Oh, sure. And that's why martial artists, they yell, they focus, whatever like that. But see, Luke, once he gets Vader on the rope, he's still going, and he cuts Vader's hand off.
But he doesn't kill him, and he doesn't finish the job, and he doesn't give in and become Darkseid.
All right, he doesn't give in completely. He notices, and you'll notice...
So why is that a blemish on Luke if he gives in for a moment, if you want to call it giving in? Why is that a blemish
I'm not saying that was a blemish at all. Okay? What I'm saying is, then Luke notices his black hand versus Vader's stump, and that's when he throws, he sees, I'm becoming like him, and he throws his... No! But Luke's fighting ability
is insane.
All right, fighting ability when he was able to finally best Vader when he gave into that rage for that short time.
So you're saying
Kylo always gives into the rage.
That's true. Now that's true. What do you call Darth Maul? Darth Maul is constant rage, right? Constant rage. So much to the Emperor to keep him busy until he said we're allowed to show ourselves to the Republic. He had him training on Dathomir fighting death robots and rancors for fun while biding time because he needed to kill something.
Right.
So the epitome of constant rage, even more than Kylo, if you ask me, is Darth Maul. Darth Maul lost to a Jedi Padawan who wasn't even a knight yet, named Obi-Wan Kenobi. And that's because raging compared to calmness and using the Force and seeing clear and calm, bested someone 10 times better than him.
Well, right. I think Obi-Wan, you know, and we're not good at, you know, this
I'm
isn't
just
about
comparing because it's a rager versus a light side calm person.
Right, exactly. And in that case,
And the King of
Obi-Wan's
Rage lost.
control won. Yes. So, but now, we've talked about raw force power. We've talked about control of the Force.
For sure.
And now when it comes to the wisdom, the smarts of when to scramble, whatever, the smarts of the Force user, not of control of the Force.
So it's
himself.
aptitude. Their aptitude.
Yeah, their aptitude.
Correct. Yep.
I would put Luke and Kylo about the same. Because Luke, although he is now more mature in the ways of the Force and everything like that, Luke has a history of letting his thoughts wander and just kind of getting off on a tangent. And even in Last Jedi, Yoda admonishes him again about never your mind is on where you are and what you're doing.
You're right. But the prophecy is Luke. Anakin's prophecy was to have a baby and fulfill it and bring down the Sith. In The Last Jedi, there's not a single Sith. There's no Sith. The Sith ended from the Chosen One, which was Luke Skywalker above it all. We thought it was Anakin. He turned to the dark side. He had a baby, and that baby ended everything. There's not a single Sith left in sight.
But
even in The Last Jedi, even in Force Awakens, there's no Sith. They've been done since Luke took care of it.
We don't know that, though. You're speculating. You know,
I just know what I know so far. Have you seen a Sith yet? Since Luke took care of business, we haven't seen one.
They haven't labeled anybody a Sith.
Have we picked anyone to label? They are dead. They're gone. Unless another movie comes out and someone decides to say that they're a Dark Lord, a Sith, or anything related to, but we don't.
Well,
Kylo's not. Snoke is not. That's in the visual dictionary. There's no Sith.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kylo
doesn't self-proclaim himself a Darth. I don't think he's going to do that because he wants to blow everything up. He wants to pull a Ryan Johnson. He wants to give no rhyme or reason and just kill everything off and just live. I don't know.
Well, I think in this one, you know, obviously we're going to agree to disagree.
For sure.
So at this point now, we can leave it to the fans and the people commenting. You know, comment below. Let us know who you think would win. Either the obvious clear choice of Kylo, or if you want to live in fantasy land like Nintendo here. And
it's a fantasy land. Luke Skywalker killing everybody.
Now, that being said, I think we disagree on, you know, we've got fundamental disagreements on the whole nature of The Last Jedi, because I liked it, you didn't. I like what they did with Luke, you didn't, whatever. So, comment, let us know. Also, you know, check out our Facebook group, and just do a search for Nerd Street on Facebook, and interact with us there. We can have more interactive conversations on Facebook and such. If you check that out, in fact, I will post a link below, and please like us on Facebook.
Thank you everyone for all your support. I want to make sure you know that it's much appreciated, and like Brent said, leave some comments in the comment section. Let's talk.
Thanks very much for watching Nerd Street!
Nerd Street!